I'm 103 years old, and doctors stare at me like I'm some kind of medical mystery that shouldn't exist. No miracle pills in my cabinet. No expensive treatments or procedures that cost a fortune. Just 7 simple foods I've been eating religiously for the past 50 years. What I'm about to share will shock you because it's ridiculously simple and probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Friends, write in the comments where you're watching us from and hit that like button if you want to discover the most unexpected part of this story. Let me tell you who I am, because this isn't some fairy tale from a billionaire's mansion. I'm just an ordinary guy who worked with his hands his entire life. Nothing fancy or glamorous about it. Spent 40 years as a carpenter, building houses when people still knew what real craftsmanship meant. I lived through World War II as a kid, watched my neighbors disappear, ate potato peels when there was nothing else, survived the Great Recession when families lost everything and had to start over from absolute zero, lost my parents young, buried my brother at 35, and said goodbye to my beloved wife 10 years ago. When I turned 70, my doctor pulled me aside and said I had maybe 10 good years left, 15 if I was lucky. That was 33 years ago, and I'm still here, still sharp, still walking without a cane or walker. So what makes me different from everyone else who didn't make it this far? It's not genetics. My family died young. It's not luck or good fortune, because I've had my share of disasters and heartbreaks like everyone else. The difference is what I put in my mouth every single day, without exception, for half a century. First food that saved my life: raw garlic. 1 clove every morning, crushed and swallowed like medicine. People wrinkle their nose when I tell them this, but garlic is nature's antibiotic that actually works. Every winter, when flu swept through our neighborhood, everyone got sick except me. Coincidence? I don't think so. Garlic scrubs your blood vessels clean like a power washer removes years of grime from old concrete. Second lifesaver: fatty fish twice a week. But not the expensive salmon from fancy grocery stores. I'm talking about humble sardines, mackerel, and herring that poor people have eaten for centuries to stay strong. These fish swim in cold waters and pack their bodies with omega-3 oils that keep your brain sharp. Your brain is 60% fat, so feeding it cheap, processed oils is like putting dirty motor oil in a Ferrari. Third secret weapon: handful of walnuts every morning. And the shape isn't an accident of nature. Ancient people noticed that walnuts look exactly like tiny brains and believed they were meant for mental health. Modern science proved they were absolutely right. Walnuts reduce brain inflammation better than expensive supplements. I crack them fresh every morning because pre-shelled nuts sitting in bags for months lose their power. Fourth fountain of youth: sauerkraut and fermented vegetables that most people completely ignore nowadays. Your gut contains more bacteria than your body has cells, and these tiny creatures control your entire health. Feed them processed junk and they rebel, causing inflammation that ages you from the inside out. Feed them fermented foods and they become your personal army, fighting disease and keeping you young. I've eaten homemade sauerkraut with dinner every single day for 70 years. Never had digestive problems. Fifth longevity secret: real olive oil, not the fake stuff sold in clear bottles under bright store lights. I buy dark bottles from small producers who've been making oil the same way their great-grandfathers did. This liquid gold reduces inflammation throughout your body like a gentle medicine you take with every meal. Sixth life extender: fresh herbs every day. Not as decoration, but as powerful medicine disguised as food. Parsley has more vitamin C than oranges. Dill fights bacteria. Cilantro pulls heavy metals from your tissues. I grow my own herbs in window boxes because store-bought herbs have traveled thousands of miles and lost their punch. Seventh and most overlooked secret: pure water, lots of it, starting the moment I wake up. Most people stumble to the coffee maker first thing, but I drink 2 glasses of water before anything else. Your body just spent 8 hours repairing itself and needs water to flush out the cellular garbage it collected. Dehydration makes your blood thick like syrup, forcing your heart to work harder with every single beat. Now let me tell you what I've never eaten, because avoiding poison is just as important as eating medicine. Pure white sugar has never entered my mouth, Because I grew up when people still remembered it was a luxury, not a necessity. Those bright, pink hot dogs and processed lunch meats? That's not food. That's a chemistry experiment wrapped in plastic. I've never eaten anything that comes in a box with a list of ingredients I can't pronounce or understand. Most importantly, I've never eaten while standing up, driving, or watching television like people do today. Every meal was an event. Sitting down, chewing slowly, actually tasting what went into my mouth. Your stomach doesn't have teeth, so if you don't chew properly, your digestive system struggles and fails. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You don't need to eat perfectly every single day to live long. You just need to eat terribly as rarely as possible, and your body will forgive occasional mistakes. The human body is incredibly resilient if you give it the right building materials, most of the time. I'm not telling you this story to brag or make you feel bad about your choices up until now. I'm sharing this because at 103, I've learned that small, daily actions compound into miraculous results over decades. Every morning you wake up is another chance to feed your body like you actually want it to last. You might not make it to 103. And honestly, that's not the point of this whole conversation. The point is living whatever time you have with energy, clarity, and without depending on others for basic needs. Start tomorrow with just one thing from my list. Add raw garlic to your morning routine. Next week, add the walnuts. The week after that, try some real sauerkraut with your dinner. Don't try to change everything at once because that's how most people fail and give up completely. Build these habits slowly, like I built houses, one solid board at a time until the structure stands strong. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today, right now, in this very moment. Choose wisely. Eat simply, and maybe I'll see you at your 100th birthday celebration.